All right, welcome back, everyone, to Lakers Latest. I hope everyone had a good weekend. I know I did. I went away to an Airbnb, a little pool whole weekend. It was like 97, very hot, especially in California. So just do whatever you gotta do. Stay cool. Do whatever you need to do. Don't overheat yourself. But yeah, I hope everyone had a good weekend. Hope you did whatever you need to do. Took some time off from work. But yeah, let's hop right into it. So first thing on the docket today, a little bit more on a potential LeBron trade or LeBron trade rumors. I know in the last video we discussed the possibility of LeBron potentially getting traded to the Warriors based on new information that the Warriors had inquired multiple times over the past, I believe, 18 months it was, where they were interested in acquiring LeBron James. Now, obviously, I talked into the validity of that, and something is realistically possible. Went into, for it to be possible, it would almost have to involve Jimmy Butler. We've now gotten kind of a follow-up update on that, and the fact that the Lakers aren't interested in Jimmy Butler, which should essentially end that should basically end any speculation there. Like, it's almost virtually impossible for the Warriors to trade for LeBron James without adding Jimmy Butler and his salary to make it happen. So that's something I want to bring back up. But also just another update from LeBron's side, from LeBron's camp. Basically, we just got an update that said the camp obviously understands the difficulties that it would take in training LeBron. I also found it interesting that we kind of heard that since LeBron signed his 1-year extension or player option, I can't remember, but his 1-year extension or player option to extend his time in Los Angeles at least one more season, that essentially it's been radio silence from them. Now that was months ago, so I find it, or at least like a month and a half ago, so I find it interesting that LeBron, who obviously normally anywhere he goes has a huge say in things, LeBron James, he could do this, that it's been radio silent for over a month and a half. But that's just interesting to me because obviously we know LeBron especially likes to push out news, likes sometimes to push it out on his own, or he likes to be in control of things. Oh, not to say he's in control of things, but he likes to have a say in things. So to me, that just tells me that they do understand the difficulties of making a trade, and like kind of we just heard, it's like I said, it's virtually impossible. Like, it's not that you can't make the salaries match or you can't find something that would work like a specific package. It's more, there's only so many contenders in the NBA, and only a handful of them probably have the assets to trade for LeBron. But the question is, do you really want to trade any legitimate assets, whether that's draft pick, a young player for a guy, even though it is LeBron James? I mean, don't get me wrong, he's arguably the greatest player who's ever lived. But he's still 41. He's probably only going to be on your team one season. So it's already difficult money-wise to match it up, to find a team that's going to match it up. And it's going to be even more difficult to find a team that's going to be willing to give up a legitimate piece or a legitimate asset to get LeBron. So it doesn't surprise me that they understand the difficulties. It does surprise me that they're radio silent. That tells me a few things. Number one, obviously, like, LeBron wants to have his best chance to win a championship, but I think he understands this is Luka Doncic's team now. I think he knows, I'm not going to make them trade or do things if I'm only going to be here potentially one more season. I don't want to do anything that's going to, potentially harm whatever assets they have for the future. But yeah, so it tells me that he understands this conceivably could be his last year in Los Angeles. And he knows that, even though he obviously wants them to do everything in their power to contend, that it's I don't want to say it's out of his hands. Like, obviously he's LeBron, he's still going to have a little bit of a say, but he understands it's not his main focus like it was in like Cleveland when it was like, hey, I need you to get Kevin Love and get this, or when he's first in Los Angeles, I need another guy, go get Anthony Davis. Now you go get Luka Doncic, although that was shock to everyone. I don't think anyone saw that coming. But yeah, it's just some interesting update on LeBron. Again, he's not going anywhere. But still interesting to see that his camp's been mostly radio silent. Excuse me, everyone. All right, next on the docket, we're just gonna hope everyone had a great Mama Day yesterday. Obviously, 8/24. It's Mama Day in Los Angeles, so we can remember the great Kobe Bryant, arguably the greatest Laker who's ever lived. Obviously, devastating passing, I believe. God, I think it was 5 years ago now, maybe. I want to say it was 2020. But obviously, I mean, some of my best memories from when I was a child, even like growing up, just like on the East Coast, like just watching Kobe play. Like I remember just every time you watch Kobe play, it was just like LeBron. I would say he's a better overall player than Kobe all time, but I mean, you just watch Kobe play, and it was like a moment. Every game was a moment. Like the facial expressions, you know what I mean? Like everything he does, how hard he works. It was just such a treat to watch Kobe go to work and to watch him play. And yeah, man, I miss watching Kobe ball. I miss it. Just absolute best, favorite basketball player ever. Just unbelievable. So I hope everyone watched some highlights. Brought back some memories when we were growing up, whether it be the back-to-back championships won with Shaq or the Kobe, Gasol, Odom, and Bynum teams. I don't know why I said Bynum. He only had one good year, but yeah, just hope everyone was able to watch some highlights of Kobe. And, to me, I try and think of, like, my favorite Kobe memories. First one that always comes up for some reason is his game winner against the Suns in the playoffs. I believe, I want to say it was 2006, where they were down 3-1. He comes, he pokes back, hits the fadeaway. It was crazy, and then they went on to win the next two games. The craziest Kobe highlight I've ever seen, though, actually isn't even a play. It's near the end of his career when he tore his Achilles and he went to take 2 free throws. That's still the craziest thing I've ever seen, especially after we saw 3 massive Achilles injuries this season. Actually, Dame. Yeah, all in the playoffs. I didn't realize they were all in the playoffs. Dame, obviously round 1. Tatum, round 2. And Halliburton in the NBA Finals. So it's crazy to me because you saw all those guys go down, and like every one of them is in excruciating pain. All of them. Tatum goes down. Dame goes, and they're holding their leg. They can't even get up. Dragged off the court. The reason that's crazy is because Kobe tore his Achilles. And then he went back to shoot 2 free throws. Like that, you have 3 guys, tough as nails. They play in the NBA. They are writhing in pain, just in an insane amount of excruciating pain. And the thought, watching how much pain they're in, the thought of even going up to shoot a free throw is it's not possible, right? So the fact that Kobe did that is it's just one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Like the dude tore his Achilles, got up, and still did 2 free throws when he was probably in excruciating amount of pain. It's just an immense level of respect for Kobe in that moment. A few more, obviously 81. Funny thing is, like, I was young, so I barely even remember 81. But obviously, I mean, 81 points. Come on, let's be real. It's second most points scored in NBA history behind another Lakers legend, Wilt Chamberlain. And then when he scored 60 in the Garden, when you go to the Garden, whether you're there, whether you watch, everything is elevated. Even with the Knicks being garbage for the past 20 years, from 2003 to 2021, and then obviously the past 4 years, especially the past few years, they're real contenders. They finally built a legitimate team, but anything in the Garden is elevated. So Kobe doing that was just legendary, and you always remember those. So shout out Kobe, legend. Hope you're keeping it real out there, man. All right, next possible trade deal. Again, this isn't even a trade rumor. It's just a couple things you see pop up online. Weeks back, 2-3 weeks ago, we talked about Nikola Vucevic potentially being an option for the Lakers if he was bought out. A week later, it says the Bulls are not interested in buying him out. They don't want to lose him for nothing. So right now, and again, he could be a buyout candidate if he's not traded by either before the regular season, during the regular season, or by the deadline. But they'll probably keep him as long as possible to try and get the best out of him. But the offer was Vucevic for Maxi Kleber, Gabe Vincent, a 2029 first-round pick swap. Obviously, the only real asset there for the Bulls is the pick swap. I would still do it if I was them because they're so bad. Like, you're probably going to trade him for nothing anyway. So that's an interesting one. Whether the Bulls would actually do it or whether they prefer to see if he can have a good season and trade him mid-season, they would probably prefer to trade him mid-season now. But that is one that could come back up. I mean, they would get 2 expiring contracts. They would get a first-round pick swap, which is probably better than they're going to get at anything. Even though Vucevic is still a talented player, the guy knows he's an expiring free agent. No one's going to give him too much up for him. He could be a buyout candidate at the trade deadline. Nevertheless, that's an interesting option, and it's an option where maybe we'll see it pick up in a couple weeks. But at this point, the Bulls are terrible. I would say they're easily, arguably, the worst run franchise in the NBA. The only other 2 franchises I think you could give them a run for their money right now are the Kings or the Wizards. The Bulls are just an absolute embarrassment. They're a joke, and they've made some horrendous trades over the past few years, so they're pretty easy to take advantage of if you're an opposing GM. So we'll see about that. It's an interesting one. I think he'd be a good fit off the bench or starting. I honestly think he's better than DeAndre Ayton. So yeah, we'll see what happens on there. See if it pops back up in the upcoming weeks. And last thing I just want to briefly talk about was Jake LaRavia. Obviously, Ayton, Marcus Smart, kind of known commodities. Ayton, obviously, former first-round pick, very talented player with known attitude, effort issues. The hope is that JJ can really build a relationship with him, get him motivated, get him strong going. Smart, NBA championship, former defensive player of the year. If he's healthy, could be all first team, second team defense. We know what they bring to the table. LaRavia is kind of that third free agent addition that they got out this offseason. He's by far, actually I don't know if he's younger than Ayton, but he's around 26, so still young, just entering his prime. I'm pretty sure his best basketball is ahead of him. So what's he bring to the table? So he's a decent defender, definitely a better defender than Austin Reeves, more versatile. 6'6", 6'7", can defend a little bit. Not going to be amazing, but he's adequate. He can defend adequately, but the main purpose on this team is his shooting. Especially with LeBron and Luka, you need to surround yourself with as many shooters as possible, and I think LaRavia, especially a young, talented player that his best basketball is ahead of him, is a really good fit. I think, he's a career 37% three-point shooter. Last year he shot about 35% with, I think, Sacramento, but 44% with Memphis. And that was when Memphis was, hurt and up and down, not playing, too great. But now, obviously, on a better team, going to be in situations playing with Luka or LeBron or even Reeves, where I think he's going to have more open opportunities. And yeah, he's versatile. He's a good catch and shoot player. Can shoot a little bit of mid range, but he's mostly going to be that catch and shoot guy, a 3-and-D guy. But I think it's going to be exciting to see what he brings to the table. If there's anything else offensively outside of 3-point shooting, 3-and-D, that whole style. But I think he's going to be an underrated addition. I think he's going to be, especially with Luka and LeBron, I think he's going to have the most open shots he's probably ever had in his career. And I think that he could develop into a pretty solid 3-and-D player. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. We're still a couple weeks away from training camp, preseason. But, yeah, we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. Maybe the Lakers make one more trade. Maybe they inquire about Malik Beasley. Just on top of that, we haven't heard anything. I know I've read that the Knicks and the Cavs have both reached out to Malik Beasley's camp, but nothing so far yet on the Lakers. So we'll keep an eye on that. Obviously, he would be a pretty solid addition, especially given what's left on the free agent market. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. But, yeah, until next time, guys, that's all I got for today.